Okay, so the next important concept that I want to share with you is understanding what are your core values and your belief system. My friend, I cannot emphasize how important this topic is. And I had no awareness about it till about a few years ago when I came into coaching, the world of coaching, when I was personally getting coached to become the person I am today, which, by the way, I was never like this. I realized how important understanding your own belief system is. Now, what is this belief system? Your belief system is nothing but the belief that you have about yourself and the belief that you have for the rest of the world. It's basically what you think about yourself. What is that inner voice that is talking to you constantly inside? That is super important to be recognized, because whatever we do, whatever actions that we do, it comes from our mind, it comes from our thoughts, because whatever you think influences the emotion that you feel, and that emotion influences the action that you're going to take. Okay, if I, for example, if I have a belief, a negative belief, so your beliefs can be negative and positive. So if you have a negative belief which says, oh, I am not good enough, I don't know if I can do this, I don't believe in myself. So imagine if I have these thoughts running in like a record player in my head. Imagine what kind of emotions I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel stressed, I'm going to feel overwhelmed, I'm going to feel sad, right? So if I'm going to feel all these emotions, imagine what kind of action would I take? I'm not going to be taking any action. I would be filled with fears, fear of failure, fear of not looking good. And because of that, I would not be taking action. Oh, I want to be a speaker. Oh, I want to be a coach. I want to be, shooting my own online program, starting my YouTube channel. So these are the actions that I was supposed to take in order to build myself, right? But would I be doing it? Absolutely not. So for the longest time, I think even when I'm shooting this program, a lot of my inner voice was negative belief was popping up in my head, to be honest, wherein I felt like, oh my God, I don't know if I would be able to serve, my coaches, my students. I don't know if my content would be good enough. I don't know if I would be able to add value as much as I want to add. So all these thoughts kept me in a mode where I felt stuck and I could not move forward, despite knowing the fact that I wanted to do all of those things. And it took me quite a change. I had to work in my inner self a lot in order to change my self-talk, in order to change my perception, my own belief system towards myself, so that I was able to take the action today, right? So here I am making videos for you, and I do believe that I can add value to your life, because this is something which is so important, and I have a feeling like this is going to do good to you. Okay, so belief system, your core values, what do you really believe in? This is something which is super, super important, because what you believe in is your personality. This is the person that you are, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So these are the things that you have to identify, because we are all different individuals. And just because there's certain things that work for me doesn't mean that it will work for you. Of course, there's a lot of generic things that can be common in everyone, but we have certain personality and mindset that we need to discover, so that we know what is best for us. Okay, and when you look at the journey, the history, the biographies of all the successful entrepreneurs, somewhere they always, even when they were nothing, absolutely nothing, when they were starting from the scratch, when they literally had no contacts, no money, no business really, they still had a very high self-belief about themselves. They had this confidence, certain level of confidence. Of course, I'm not saying that they didn't have self-doubts. Of course, everyone would have self-doubt at certain point of time. But majority point of time, if you would check their history, their biographies, their interviews, you would realize that they had this certain kind of self-belief that, yes, I can make it. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I am good enough. That kind of positive self-talk, belief that they had about themselves, and they also had a certain belief, a positive belief, wherein they felt like they could solve the problem that they're trying to solve. They could create that impact that they're trying to create. So this is a very interesting thing, very, very essential, because I feel majority of people get stuck right here. Majority of people, even when they have a clarity of, let's say, their vision, their mission, their purpose, whatever that is, but if they're not able to resolve their inner world, which is, the inner world, which is like a roller coaster, a negative ball of roller coaster. So that is something that's going to really, really stop them moving forward. And they would never be able to execute the things that needs to be executed. They would never be able to achieve the dreams that they are having for themselves and for the world. So this is like, I cannot tell you how important this is to be dealt with. And I have another good news for you. Because I realize how important this is, I really want to empower you as much as I can. And I've built a separate course called the Unstoppable Mindset Formula. Okay, where I am going to help you deep dive into yourself, into your core beliefs that you have and how you can change it. And I'm also going to help you deal with lots of fears, because the number one reason why people stop or get stuck is because of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what other people will think, fear of losing money. There's so many things. And trust me, I've been there many times. First 2 years of my life, I think I just lived in that mode. It was nuts. First two of my journey in entrepreneurship, I lived in that mindset. And honestly, that is a mindset which takes time to change. And I'm still working on it. Like, there are times when I still go into that phase but now I have the tools and techniques to come back to what is working for me. Okay, so I want to empower you with that as well. But there is nothing shortcuts here. Entrepreneurship is not a short game. It's not a quick money making scheme. This is a journey which will really test you as a person, which will really, really test you to your deepest levels. And if you can, survive and come out of that, you will thrive as an entrepreneur. So I have a separate course for you, which I would like to do right at the end after your vision mission statement. You create that. Then I want you to do this program, because they are both at the execution level. Okay, so when you're ready to execute something, I would like you to deep dive into that. All right. So I'll see you next in the next video.
Many of you, as I have been, as I am, are where you are in your life based upon what you believe. And it's not just what you think you believe on the surface, it's also your shadow beliefs that are holding you back from moving into the life that you believe you deserve. What I know is, if you're not looking at the shadows, if you're not looking at what is subconsciously running through the tape in your mind, telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not smart enough, you're not enough, which is a tape that's playing for a lot of people. If you're not conscious of that, then you end up acting out of that belief system and not out of what you know to be the truest or want to be the truest for yourself. But you don't become what you want, because so much of wanting is about living in the space of what you don't have. That's why Jim Carrey's story is so powerful, because he started to act as though he already had it. He would go up to Mulholland Drive. He would drive away thinking, I already have those things. I just haven't accessed them as yet. I believe those things are going to come to me, and I'm going to act like they are. So I'm going to move forward in my life in order to draw that to myself in such a way that my actions are in alignment with what I say I believe. So if you start to think about that, really, why are you where you are in your life? The choices that you have made have been because of what you believe to be true for yourself.